A very good evening to the most valuable assets of my life, that is you children. I hope you are great and I hope you had a great time at your school. I hope you are balancing the enjoyment part and also a little bit of studying part. Well, I really wish you enjoy your school life. I'm telling you, this is going to be one of the best period of your life. Okay, and the next thing that comes in will be college. That will also be super good. But yes, the time that you have over here, try to enjoy it the most. And also, as I said, with the enjoyment that you're doing, try to manage a little bit of studying as well. Yes, so today, my dear children, we are ready for a battle between whom all? Battle between you versus you. That is the previous version of yourselves and this new version of yourselves who is ready to answer all the questions out there. I am pretty sure there are so many people who didn't watch the videos for KCET and NEET PYQs previously, who didn't tell me what was your score at the end of the video, but it's totally fine. Now it's time to become a new person out there and attempt all the questions and tell me your score at the end of this session, because that is how you get to know how far have you come in the, in the competition cycle. You know, this all thing, it's a race between a lot of people who are running towards the same direction, my dear children. And I just wish, I don't like this part of life, which is the racing part, but that's how it is, and we have to win this race, right? We have to win this race by giving our efforts, by putting our efforts. Rest, we do not know what can happen. Maybe we win, maybe we may not be able to win, but we would be definitely able to complete the race if you are very consistent. So completing the race is, we say that it's like a partial win out there. So please, compete in this particular thing. Please put on your efforts in this particular thing. Answer the questions that I'm asking you. There would be 20 NEET questions out there, and the rest of the questions would be from KCET. Okay, I have given more priority to NEET, because you will get to know the standard of NEET. Obviously, it is going to be higher than KCET, and my dear children, you are going to have fun. Yes, so are we ready for a double treat? I hope we are. So my dear children, we took this chapter in 3 sessions. The first 2 sessions were theory based, and this session is question based. Round 1 would contain NEET questions. Round 2 would contain KCET 2024 questions. Not 24, I always do that mistake, 2025 questions, that is the questions that were asked this year, and the round 3 would be KCET general PYQs that were asked in the previous years as well. Now in KCET you get 3 questions every year. If you study this chapter very well, if you have studied it with me, I'm pretty sure you are gonna score what? 6 on 6 in your PU2 examination as well. Okay, so that's all from my end. Now my dear children, before coming to this, I want to talk a little bit about this, that is the children who are very close to my heart. I always say this, that they are close. Why do I say this? Because I actually mean it. How can someone become close on an online online platform out there? The thing is, you can become close if you interact with me, if you participate in the whole process of studying with me. Okay, so you answer the questions that I ask, you ask me doubts, okay, or probably you challenge me that, ma'am, this is not the thing, or probably you ask me that, ma'am, can you please also tell me about this thing? All this form of comments that you're putting down is going to make us really close. And what is the usefulness of this? The usefulness of this is that the studying part would be really fun. You are not studying from a teacher out there. Consider me as your friend. And when you study from a friend, what happens? Everything becomes very clear, right? So that is the motto. Okay, and my dear children, please follow it. In that case, you will be really comfortable to ask me doubts that you are having. You won't hinder away from anything, and you would also love the class as well. And I would love to know that whether you are liking the class. So I have 2 good comments out there who said, okay, so first comment is from Manasa L, who said that superb teaching, ma'am. I got clear with my doubts. Thanks a lot, ma'am. First of all, thank you a lot, Manasa. It takes whatever time it took out for putting down that comment. It means the world to me. I am so thankful thankful for that. And also Nila, who said that superb class, ma'am, you're doing an amazing work. The same goes to you and for all the children who are working really hard. Okay, so we have got some hard workers as well. We have Sagar Anmol Chopra, who actually went with who gave me all the homework answers, who put down the timings as well, that ma'am, at this particular time you asked this question and this is the answer for this. Kudos to you, Sagar, you're doing an awesome job. We have Manvita Reddy answering all the questions properly out there. I'm so super proud of you, and I see the consistency that you are having. Kudos to you as well. And then we have again Manasa, who put down all the answers, detailed answers, as in she chose whatever answer was there, she tried to elaborate it and just write it. So kudos to you, kudos to the hard work that you guys are putting into the learning process. I really appreciate that. And with that, I can tell you that next year, I'm pretty sure one among you would be standing up over here. So you know what, this is the results that you see is not a thing that came in one day. It's a mix of the efforts put by the teachers, the efforts put by the students as well. Okay, and I'm pretty sure if you're putting this much level of effort every single time someone is teaching out there, you could be here and it won't be a small deal. You will be celebrated. This particular picture, instead of these children out there, it's your picture which is going to come. The next batch would be seeing you guys out there, and that is going to be really proud moment. So make sure you try to do that, you try to achieve that, and I am here, and we all teachers are here to help you out with that. Okay, so now the first question, the homework question: when was MTP legalized? MTP was legalized in the year 1971, my dear children. And basically, one more very important thing: when was the Amendment Act being put down? It was in the year 2017. So legalization of MTP, it is 1971, and the Amendment Act was 2017. Please remember that. Now, which of the following STDs cannot be cured? Gonorrhea, syphilis, chlamydia, genital herpes. My dear children, I told you the ones that starts with H, or the ones that have H, are the ones that cannot be cured. HIV, AIDS, hepatitis B, and also genital herpes. Okay, so over here we do not have HIV and hepatitis, we just have this option. So let's go for this. Your answer would be A, D only. Now, the method of directly injecting a sperm into the ovum, what do you call it? So you have an ovum, you inject the sperm into it, you call this intracytoplasmic sperm injection. Inside the cytoplasm, intracytoplasmic sperm injection, you are inserting what? The sperm. So ICSI is your answer for this particular question. Okay, and the last homework question: in vitro fertilization is a technique that involves transfer of which one of the following into the fallopian tube? So you're talking about fallopian tube. What are you going to insert inside the fallopian tube in vitro fertilization? Either you can put a zygote, or you can put an embryo which is up to 8 cell stage. Beyond 8 cell stage, you cannot put things up. So your answer would be either zygote or early embryo up to 8 cell stage. If it is more than 8 cell stage, what do? You will put it in a uterus. You will directly put it in the uterus, not in the fallopian tube. Remember that. So with that, we end the homework question, and now it's time for what? For the round one of NEET questions out there. And read the question carefully, attempt by yourself first, that you have to do it. Put it down in the comment section. It's okay, you flood the comment section, it's totally fine. Put down your answer. A is this, B, whatever questions I give you, 1 answer is this, 2 answer is this. I'll be really happy to see your participation, my dear children. And before I tell the answer, you have to do that. Now, in case you get wrong answer, note down the question number and attempt it again towards the end. Once you get it wrong, do not be like, oh, I'm sad, I cannot get the answer. It's totally fine. That's how we learn. That's how we learn. So please put down the questions that you're getting wrong and come back and solve it later on. No cheating. Please go through all the lecture videos. If needed, you can use 2x speed as well. Now round 1 begins. NEET questions. Okay, and the first question that we have is over here. Remember, for each question you just have to give 60 seconds, not beyond that. In context of amniocentesis, which of the following statements is incorrect? You have to find what is incorrect in terms of amniocentesis. What is amniocentesis? When you take amniotic fluid out of the, out of the inside the amniotic sac you have the amniotic fluid, and you take that out. For what? For actually determining some genetic disorders out there, such as hemophilia, such as color blindness, all these things, okay. Apart from that, or Down syndrome, apart from that, you can also determine the sex of the child with the help of amniocentesis. So it can be used for detection of Down syndrome. The answer is yes, because it is a genetic disorder. So yes, you can find that out. It can be used for detection of cleft palate. You might have seen people who are having cleft palate, like their lip shape is like little uneven out there, okay. So it is not actually completely genetic, so you cannot say that. So it cannot be actually used for detection of cleft palate. This is wrong. They have said it can be used, but the answer is it cannot be actually used for detection of cleft palate, okay, because that's not a complete genetic disorder that you see. Now it is usually done when a woman is between 14 to 16 weeks pregnant. That is true. Amniocentesis can be performed between this time. It is used for prenatal sex determination, as in before the baby is born, before that you determine the sex. Can you do that with the help of amniocentesis? The answer is yes. So if in the option Down syndrome, hemophilia, sickle cell anemia, all these things is there, my dear children, it's totally correct. Why? Because all of them are genetic disorders. Anything that is not genetic would not be a correct answer for this. So what is your correct answer? That is, what is the incorrect statement? It can be used for detection of cleft palate. This is the incorrect statement out there. Now question number 2. Which of the following cannot be detected in a developing fetus by amniocentesis? Again, a same kind of question. You have to spot which one of them is non-genetic. Okay, that is the thing that you have to find out. So Down syndrome is a genetic disorder. Klinefelter syndrome is also a genetic disorder. Okay, sex of the fetus, obviously it's the genetics that determine the sex of the child. It's jaundice, that is what? That is not a genetic disorder out there. Okay, it's jaundice is not a genetic disorder, which is why this one is something that cannot be detected by what? Amniocentesis. Now I understand one very important thing, that is, as of now you might not be very aware of Klinefelter syndrome, since you have not come across the chapter principles of inheritance and variation, but still, okay, just have a little bit of common sense being used in these type of questions, if at all you are not able to remember. So jaundice, as you know, it cannot be genetic. So obviously your answer would be B. Okay, now going ahead with the next thing, which of the following contraceptive methods involve a role of hormones? That means it's a contraceptive, it prevents conception, and it is because of the hormones. So what are those things? Pills, emergency contraceptive, barrier method. So pills, yes, it uses hormones. Emergency contraceptive, yes, it again uses hormone, progesterone and estrogen combination. Okay, barrier method like condom, does it release hormones? No, so this is a wrong thing. So you have to look out for those options which are wrong. Lactational amenorrhea, that means during lactation a woman is not going to menstruate because in her body the level of prolactin hormone is way too much, and this prolactin hormone does not allow ovulation to happen, my dear children. So this is hormonal control, right? So this is okay. Pills, again hormonal. Emergency contraceptive, again hormonal, because both of them they use progesterone and estrogen things. So these three things are actually what you call the hormones are being released, and because of these hormones contraception is happening. So I will say this is the correct option, but let's go for the next one. Barrier method, again this is wrong. Barrier method cannot be considered under the hormonal thing. CUT, pills, emergency contraceptives. Again, pill and emergency contraceptives are definitely using hormones, but CUT is not going to use hormones, it is going to use copper ions. Okay, copper ions basically inhibit or suppresses the sperm motility and also the fertilizing capacity of the sperms. So that has nothing to do with the hormonal control. So again that would be wrong. Your only correct answer would be B, my dear children, lactational amenorrhea, pills and emergency contraceptives. Children, if at any point of time you are doubtful about your answers, you think that your concepts are not clear, please watch the videos that I have put out there. I'm pretty sure if you watch it, you will understand everything. Okay, that much confidence I have in myself. So please watch it. It's not overconfidence. It's just confidence, because my dear children, I go in depth and I try to make you understand. I try to give pictures. So make sure you're watching the videos. Okay, it will help you, definitely help you out. Now the fourth question, select the hormone releasing intrauterine devices. Again, hormone releasing intrauterine devices. So we have two hormone releasing intrauterine devices mentioned in the NCERT, and what's them? Let's see. So lipase loop and multiload 375. Lipase loop is non-medicated. Multiload 375 is not hormone releasing. It is what? It is copper releasing IUDs. Waltz is barrier method. LNG20 that you see, it is actually hormone releasing thing. It releases levonorgestrel, okay, which basically does not allow ovulation or implantation, or even it makes the cervix mucus very, very hard. So multi-load 375 and Progesta-Cert again wrong, because multi-load 375 is what? Is copper releasing. Progesta-Cert is actually hormone releasing. So Progesta-Cert and LNG20, both of them, my dear children, would be correct option, because Progesta-Cert is going to have what you call, it's going to release the synthetic form of progesterone, which is going to hamper everything. In a normal level, progesterone is really good. But when you give more amount of progesterone, my dear children, the normal things does not happen in a normal way. Okay, so it does not allow ovulation to happen. It won't allow implantation to happen as well. It makes the cervical mucus very thick that the sperms cannot enter. So these two things, Progesta-Cert and LNG20, are the hormone releasing intrauterine devices. Now, question number 5. The contraceptive Saheli. Again, the answer to this question, this is nowhere given in your NCERT. Okay, but still in NEET 2018 it was asked. So it's your responsibility to study about this. Well, again, I have taught it in the session that I took. So contraceptive Saheli, how does it actually work? Does it block the estrogen receptors in the uterus, preventing eggs from getting implanted? Does it increase the concentration of estrogen and prevents ovulation in females? Is it an IUD? Is it a post-coital contraceptive? As in, after the coitus, after the sexual activity, do you have it? Is that the correct way of having it? How does it work? So Saheli, as I told you, it's a non-steroidal drug. First of all, remember, it's a non-steroidal contraceptive. It does not release any steroids. It's a once in a week pill. Okay, once in a week pill, and it does not have any side effects as well. Okay, and it's world's first non-steroidal contraceptive drug out there. How does it work? Basically, it does not leave any hormone and stuff like that. It basically blocks the estrogen receptors in the uterus. So whenever estrogen receptors are blocked by something else, do you think the estrogen can come and bind over here? No. And if estrogen is not coming and binding over here, my dear children, do you think the endometrium can form? So initial endometrium formation is done by the estrogen. So if estrogen itself is not there, okay, not able to bind, not able to give the signal, do you think endometrium would be formed properly? The answer is no. The answer would be no. And if estrogen receptors are blocked in the uterus, my dear children, obviously it won't be, implantation cannot happen, because the endometrium itself is not being formed properly. Okay, so even if both of them fuse with each other, even if fertilization happens, even if zygote is formed, even if embryo comes, but embryo would not be able to find a proper endometrium layer to get implanted. So it works like this. It blocks the estrogen receptors in the uterus. Increases the concentration of estrogen would be wrong. It is not an IUD, intrauterine device. No, it's a wrong answer. And is a post-coital contraceptive? No, it's a once in a week pill. Okay, which can be taken anytime. Fine. Now, the function of copper ions in copper releasing IUD is, what do they do? They inhibit gametogenesis. Do not allow the formation of sperm? Do not allow the formation of ovum? No, that's wrong, right? So gametogenesis takes place. So this is wrong statement. You have to find the function of copper ions. They make the uterus unsuitable for implantation. That's not usually their job. It's mostly the hormone releasing IUDs, or probably the non-medicated IUDs such as lipase loop. They do that. So wrong. They inhibit ovulation, again something that is related to hormone releasing IUDs. They suppress the sperm motility and fertilizing capacity of the sperm. The answer is yes. Always remember, copper ions have a toxic love for the sperm. They do not allow the sperm to move anywhere. Like, you don't go anywhere. You just stay here with me all the time. So it is causing what? The suppressing of the motility of the sperms. And if the sperms are not motile, my dear children, will they be able to move towards the ovum? No. Will the fertilization happen? No. And even if they go, my dear children, the capacity, fertilizing capacity is also greatly reduced because of the copper ions. So your D answer would be the one that is correct function. Now, 7th question, which of the following approaches does not give the defined action of contraceptive? Does not. You have to find which is not in pair. So, hormonal contraceptive, vasectomy, barrier method, intrauterine devices. So, hormonal contraceptive prevent or retard the entry of sperm. Do they do that? Ma'am, prevention of movement of the sperm is done by copper releasing IUD. No, not hormonal. Bacha, I already told you, in hormone releasing IUDs, they make the cervix region. So this is the uterus. You have the cervix over here. Okay, and suppose over here you have a plug sort of thing being formed. Do you think the sperm can get inside? No. So that is why it said that prevents retard the entry of sperm. That is correct. It prevents ovulation, correct, and fertilization also correct. Vasectomy, it prevents spermatogenesis, wrong. Why? In vasectomy you cut the vas deferens, okay, such that the sperm is not able to get transported. Sperms are being formed over here. It does not prevent spermatogenesis. Sperms are formed. They come also until vas deferens, and they say that, oh my god, the road is blocked. I'll sit and die over here itself. So they just disintegrate over there, but they are formed. Please understand that. So this is wrong statement. It prevents spermatogenesis is a wrong statement. Okay, so it does not give the defined action of contraceptive. You already found the answer, but let's go ahead. Barrier method prevents fertilization, yes, because they act like a barrier, such as condom, does not allow the sperm and the ovum to meet. Intrauterine devices increases the phagocytosis of sperms, suppresses the sperm motility and fertilization capacity of sperms. Yes, intrauterine devices have these function. The non-medicated ones, my dear children, what do? Basically, they make our immune system very much active. And when our immune system is active, there are so many cells being released, the white blood cells. And you know what they do? They take in everything inside and kill them. The white blood cell, for example, it's you. No, actually they cannot take these big things. But anyways, if there are small cells out there, they take it inside. This is known as phagocytosis. They take it inside and it kills them. So that's the work of what the WBCs out there, or what do you call the immune cells out there. That's how they work. So non-medicated IUDs basically says that, hey, something foreign has got into your body, you have to be really active. So that something foreign is what? The non-medicated IUD, that is lipase loop. It just stays in the body and says that I am foreign, I am foreign. So in that case, all the WBCs and everything will be active, and anything that tries to get inside the body will also be killed. Okay, that's the function. That's how it works. Suppressing the sperm motility is done by what? The Cu plus what that you call copper releasing IUDs. Okay, so and the fertilizing capacity of the sperm is also reduced by the copper releasing IUDs out there. So your answer would be B. Fine. Now going ahead, one of the following is not a method of contraception. Which one? Which one is not a method of contraception? Condoms. It is. Pills of a combination of oxytocin and vasopressin. Ma'am, I studied pills, but I don't remember the hormonal combination. Oh my god. Okay, I think it's correct only. Lipase loop and tubectomy, my dear children. So the thing is, pills are actually correct, but the combination of oxytocin and vasopressin is not correct. Oxytocin is something that is used for what do you call, the contraction of the endometrium, for the contraction, not the endometrium, oh my god, sorry, the contraction of myometrium, the muscular layer out there, such that the baby can move out, okay, or for what do you call, injection of milk from the mammary gland. Vasopressin is basically for what do you call, the urine, it has the urinary function out there, okay. None of it has the function of the pills, the actual function of the pills. So it's actually the combination of estrogen and also proestrogen that is there, not oxytocin and vasopressin. This would be wrong. So do not just go behind the pill word. It would be very much important for you to know what is the constituent of the pills which is there. Okay, so it is estrogen or progestogen. And lipase loop is a non-medicated IUD. Tubectomy is surgical method of contraception. So this one is the one which is not a method of contraception. Going ahead with the 9th question, which one of the following is the most widely accepted method of contraception in India at present? Widely accepted method. In the session that I took, I told there are two things which are widely accepted. One is oral pills. And oral pills is not there over here, which is why I gave the clue. Now the second one which is there, what are those? Cervical caps, tubectomy, diaphragms or IUDs? The answer is IUD. IUD is one of the most widely accepted method of contraception along with oral pills, my dear children. And IUDs are specifically taken for people who think that, okay, I had a baby, now I do not want to have a baby for 5 years. For the spacing between children, it's best. Okay, so that is there. So cervical cap and diaphragm comes under barrier method. Tubectomy is a surgical method of contraception. So your answer would be D. My dear children, are you understanding what I am trying to tell you? Are you able to answer the questions out there? Okay, do you feel that it's too much pressurizing? Do I need to do something about it? Can I help you in some ways? You can let me know that in the comment section. Or you feel that it's okay to get things wrong. Okay, I am trying my best. I will try my best. If I have not tried my best, I'll try my best to give my 100% later on also. So if you are in that way, if you're thinking like that, yes, I can do it, then what do you have to do? You have to click on the like button. Okay, you have to click on the like button and motivate me as well, that whatever I am trying to do is the best for you, just to make me realize that yes, Jasmine, you are doing a good job out there. Okay, some children are really getting motivated, some children are actually gonna try. That's the perception that I get when you do this. Okay, so now the 10th question. Given below are 4 methods and their modes of action in achieving contraception. Select their correct matching from the 4 options that follow. The pill, condom, vasectomy, copper T. I always tell you, whenever you're doing match the following question, read all the options so that you have a clarity on what you have to find. So the pill, what does it do? Or the easiest one to find would be vasectomy, my dear children. In vasectomy, you cut the vas deferens, right? Vasectomy prevents ovulation, no. Prevents implantation, no. Prevents sperms reaching the cervix, no. Semen contains no sperm. The answer is yes. In vasectomy, what happens? You're cutting the vas deferens, which is why the sperm is coming there, but it's not able to move forward. Okay, but in their case, my dear children, the prostate gland, the bulbourethral gland, the seminal vesicle still waits for the sperm and they still release seminal plasma, thinking that yes, sperm would be coming in. Okay, so the glands, accessory glands are still releasing things out there. Okay, and whenever ejaculation happens, this is the liquid given by all these glands out there which is going out. So you have a thing that is known as semen. And semen is a combination of 2 things. One is seminal plasma and the other one is the sperm. So seminal plasma is still being released. Sperms is that there still? No. Why? Because it was not able to get transported. So semen is still being released, but without what? These sperm. Semen contains no sperm because the sperm transmission or transport is what? Inhibited. So C goes with 4 and I just have one option with C goes with 4. That is this one. So let's see the other things. A goes with 3. The pill goes with prevents ovulation. Do you think the pills prevent ovulation? Yes, my dear children. How does it prevent ovulation? There is progesterone in the pills, okay, or proestrogen in the pills, and this proestrogen, basically when they are in high amount, FSH and LH cannot be in high amount because they are antagonists, they cannot see each other. Okay, and FSH and LH are the ones which leads to what? Ovulation. FSH is needed for making the follicles mature and LH is very much needed for what? Ovulation to happen. If both of them are not there, do you think ovulation will happen? No. So that is the use of the pill. Now condom, which is there, B goes with 1. Condom prevents sperm from reaching the cervix? Yes. Why? Because it provides a covering out there. So the sperms cannot actually reach the cervix. So B goes with 1, C goes with 4, and copper T, it prevents implantation. Does copper T prevent implantation? Yes. How? How does it prevent the implantation, my dear children? That's the question. It's a kind of tricky thing. So how does it prevent implantation? Basically, if fertilizing capacity of fertilization is not happening, ovulation is not happening, implantation also would not be happening. Actually speaking, it's not a correct way of asking or putting down this question, but okay, since you matched up all the other options out there, you just have this one left. Okay, so yes, so your answer would be C. Instead of preventing implantation, it should have said prevents fertilization. That would have been more correct, but anyway, it's okay. Now, this homework question is for the champion in making. So, homework question number 1, answer like that in the comment section, okay? Once you've done it, answer it, homework question. This is homework question number 1. So, medical termination of pregnancy is considered safe up to how many weeks of pregnancy? Why did I give you this in homework? Because I have taught you really well. I made you solve this question also in the, in the theory part. So, medical termination of pregnancy is considered safe up to how many weeks of pregnancy? Is it 8 weeks? Is it 12 weeks? Is it 18 weeks? Is it 6 weeks? Tell me the answer in the comment section. You can directly put question number 11th answer. That will also work. Question number 11th, A, B, C, D, whatever is your answer, you can put that as well. You will get 4 homework question. You have to answer that over here. Now, question number 12. Consider the statements given below regarding contraception and answer as directed thereafter. So, medical termination of pregnancy during first trimester is generally safe. Is it? Is it safe? First trimester means first 3 months. First 3 months means each month has 4 weeks. So, 3 months would be 3 into 4, 12 weeks. So, is it safe to do medical termination of pregnancy within the 12 weeks? Yes, this is correct. Generally, chances of conception are nil until mother breastfeeds the infant up to 2 years. So, do you think lactational amenorrhea, that means during lactational period, lactational amenorrhea works for up to 6 months? Sorry, up to 2 years? The answer is no. It works just up to 6 months. Mostly just up to 6 months. It can be lesser also, but cannot go up to 2 years. This would be wrong thing. Okay. Now, intrauterine devices, I told you why does it work like that. Usually, when a mother is lactating, in her body, prolactin hormone is being released. And this prolactin hormone again does not allow FSH and LH to increase. If FSH and LH are not increased, ovulation would not be happening. Okay. So, if ovulation is not happening, menstruation also would not be happening. Intrauterine devices like copper T are effective contraceptives. Are they effective contraceptive? The answer is yes. Okay. Contraception pills may be taken up to 1 week after coitus to prevent conception. The contraception pills, my dear children, do you think it should be taken up to 1 week after coitus to prevent conception? Wrong thing. Emergency contraceptive have to be taken within 72 hours. Okay, just within 72 hours and that would be enough. So, this statement again would be a wrong statement. What are the correct ones? Which two of these above statements are correct? I'll say 1 and 3 are the ones which are totally correct. So, I did the question reading in a wrong way. First of all, when you read the question, you read this and you read the last part. Which of the two above statements are correct or incorrect? What do you have to find out? That is the first thing that you should know. Okay, anyways, we got the answer and that would be 1 and 3. Now, question number 13. Select the option including all sexually transmitted diseases. All sexually transmitted diseases, okay? Gonorrhea, syphilis, genital herpes. First one itself is correct. A itself is correct because 3 of them are transmitted sexually. The causative agents can be different. For one, a causative agent can be what do you call a virus. The other, it can be a bacteria that can cause the disease. But can it be transmitted sexually? The answer is yes. So, all these diseases which are sexually transmitted are known as sexually transmitted diseases. Gonorrhea, malaria, genital herpes. Have you ever heard that he or she got malaria, which is why I also got malaria? No. It cannot work like that. Malaria is caused by a protozoan, my dear children, and this protozoan is passed by the bite of the mosquito. So, we will study this in human health and human health and diseases. Anyways, this is a wrong thing. AIDS, malaria, filaria. So, malaria and filariasis, both of them, my dear children. Malaria is caused by a protozoan, as I told you, and this protozoan is transmitted with the help of what? The mosquito bite. Similarly, in filariasis also, it is actually caused by helminth, okay, an ask helminth, okay, a type of worm. You call them, what do you call, the category of roundworms. It's not exactly the roundworm, it's vicarial worm, some different worm, but it's the same category where the round one falls, my dear children. So, it's that worm that causes this particular disease and it is also transmitted by the mosquito bite. Culex mosquito is the one that transfers it. So, anyway, this is also wrong, it's not sexually transmitted. AIDS can be sexually transmitted. Cancer, AIDS and syphilis. AIDS and syphilis are sexually transmitted, but cancer, no. It is not sexually transmitted diseases. There are multiple ways you can get cancer, but it is not through sexual act. So, what is your answer? Your answer is just A, my dear children. Okay, remember there is a list of diseases given, you have to remember them. Okay, and always remember the 3 non-curable diseases are what? Genital herpes, HIV, AIDS and hepatitis B. Now, match the following sexually transmitted diseases with their causative agent and select the correct option. Again, is this given in your NCERT? No. Have I taught you this? The answer is no. We will learn it now itself. Okay. So, children, the best way to identify this is go with the easiest thing. AIDS. AIDS, you all know AIDS is caused by what? HIV. Human immunodeficiency virus. Now, genital warts, my dear children, this is a viral disease and it's caused by human papilloma virus. Genital warts is viral disease as in it's caused by a virus, that's what I meant. Okay, so it's all sexually transmitted, my dear children. So, genital warts is caused by human papilloma virus and now you have got 2 options, gonorrhea and syphilis. So, syphilis which is there, it is caused by Treponema pallidum. Okay, and gonorrhea which is there, it is caused by Neisseria gonorrhoeae. Neisseria or dysphagia, whatever you want to say, you can say gonorrhea, dysphagia, gonorrhea, dysphagia, syphilis, treponema, genital warts, human papillomavirus. AIDS is caused by HIV. So A goes with 2, I just have one option like that, okay, and syphilis, B goes with 3, C goes with 4, and D goes with 1. Your answer would be this. Okay, so if you know it's easy for you to identify. You can cancel one option, but you still have other options to compete with. So for that, you should have a little knowledge, extra knowledge out there. So please remember, try to remember the names by this format: gonorrhea, Neisseria or dysphagia, syphilis, treponema, like that. Okay. Now going ahead with the 15th question out there: which of the following is not a sexually transmitted disease? Not a sexually transmitted disease: trichomoniasis, encephalitis, syphilis, or acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, AIDS. So we know AIDS is was caused by HIV. It's a sexually transmitted disease. Syphilis is also sexually transmitted. It is caused by treponema, and trichomoniasis is also actually a sexually transmitted disease. The one which is not is encephalitis, which is in where the part of your brain is being damaged. Yes, it's the one. The disease is the one where this thing happens. A part of your brain is being very badly damaged. Okay, encephalitis is the name of the disease, and it is not a sexually transmitted disease. Please remember that. That is an odd one out. This is 2015 cancelled question because of some reasons out there, but yes, maybe because it is too much out of NCERT. Yes. Okay. Now, question number 16. Assisted reproductive technology, IVF, involves the transfer of what? Ovum into the fallopian tube. In IVF, you do not put the ovum in the fallopian tube. You either put the zygote or you put the embryo. Zygote into the fallopian tube works. Zygote into the uterus, you do not need to do that. Zygote has to be put in the fallopian tube. Further, it undergoes fertilization, and then later on, my dear children, it can come down. How can it undergo fertilization? Sorry. Please remember, please listen to me. So zygote, which is there in the fallopian tube, it can transform into embryo and then later come to uterus. That is how it works. Okay. So zygote cannot be put directly inside the uterus. It does not work like that. Zygote has to be in the fallopian tube, in the ampullary region of the fallopian tube. Slowly it will divide itself from the embryo, 2-celled embryo, 4-celled embryo, 8-celled embryo, and then roll down towards the uterus. That is how it works. So this again is wrong. Embryo with 16 blastomeres in the fallopian tube. First of all, understand, you can just put 2 things in the fallopian tube, either a zygote or an embryo, only up to 8 blastomeres. If you are putting an embryo which is up to 16 blastomeres, my dear children, 16 cells, what will happen? Ectopic pregnancy can happen. What can happen? Ectopic pregnancy can happen. That is implantation at a site different from uterus. For example, the baby can be growing in the fallopian tube, which is obviously a very dangerous thing for the mother as well as the baby. Okay, so your answer would be zygote in the fallopian tube. This is the only one that is correct. IVF involves the transfer of what? Zygote into the fallopian tube, not the ovum, not the zygote into the uterus, not the embryo with 16 blastomeres in the fallopian tube as well. In this case, it has to be uterus. You can put it in the uterus, no problem. And you can put embryo up to 8 blastomeres. Embryo up to 8 blastomeres in the fallopian tube as well. That also works. Now, 17th question. Artificial insemination means what? Artificial introduction of sperm of a healthy donor into the vagina. Is it? Artificially, are you gonna inseminate? That means, are you gonna put the sperms of a healthy donor into the vagina of a female? Is that what you mean by artificial insemination? Is it introduction of the sperms of a healthy donor directly into the ovary? Why do you need to put things into the ovary? From the ovary, the ovum would be coming out and waiting near the ampullary region, my dear children. You do not need to put sperms into the ovary. That's a wrong thing. Transfer of sperms of a healthy donor to a test tube containing ova. No, you do not need to put it in the test tube. Okay. Transfer of sperms of a husband to a test tube containing ova. Again, the same thing. Okay, it's a healthy donor, it's the husband. No, my dear children, it's not the thing. Artificial insemination means probably a person might not be able to do insemination because of erectile dysfunction, or because the the number of sperms are really less, or the motility is less. In that case, what do? You can take the sperms from a healthy donor or from the husband itself, if at all motility and things are fine, just erectile dysfunction is there. In that case, you take the sperms and then through a way you're going to put it inside the female body. It can be vagina, it can be even in the cervix as well. Okay, even in the cervix as well. When it is inside the cervix, or basically inside the uterus directly, you call this intrauterine insemination. If it is inside the uterus, you call this intrauterine insemination. It's a part of artificial insemination itself. It's a type of artificial insemination itself. Okay, so artificial insemination generally means you are artificially putting down the sperms inside the female body. If it is near the vagina, you have a separate name. If it is inside the uterus, you have a separate name, and that separate name is intrauterine insemination. So over here, artificial introduction of sperms of a healthy donor into the vagina would be the answer for the question, what is artificial insemination? Okay. Now 18th question, the technique called gamete intrafallopian transfer is recommended for those females. Again, please use common sense. Okay, gamete intrafallopian transfer, you are putting a gamete inside the fallopian tube. Okay, and this is recommended for those females who cannot produce an ovum. Yes, because why? Ovum is a gamete, which is why you are putting a gamete in the fallopian tube, my dear, because they cannot produce a gamete out there. So who cannot retain the fetus inside the uterus? No, they can. They can retain the fetus inside the uterus. They can undergo normal pregnancy and everything is normal, apart from the fact that they cannot produce what? The ovum. Whose cervical canal is too narrow to allow passage for the sperms? Wrong. Who cannot provide suitable environment for fertilization? Wrong. They can do all of that. They just cannot produce ovum, which is why you are doing gamete intrafallopian transfer. You are transferring the gamete inside the fallopian tube. Always remember, it's not the sperm that you transfer, it's the ovum that you give to the female out there. So gift is always between female to female. Remember, gift always between female to female. Okay. The test tube baby means what? Fertilization and development both in the uterus. Is the fertilization happening inside the uterus in test tube baby? Okay. Fertilization in vitro, that means in the laboratory condition, and then transplantation in the uterus. After fertilization, you get the zygote, then you put it in the uterus. Is that what you mean? A baby grown in test tube, in the test tube itself, the baby is grown. Can it happen? Fertilized and developed embryo in the test tube, again in the test tube itself. Do you think it can happen? Wrong. Test tube baby concept was made to make it more interesting. Test tube baby simply means you are taking the egg and the sperm, okay, you're fusing it in the laboratory condition, and then later on the zygote that you're getting or the embryo that you're getting, you're going to put inside the fallopian tube, or if it is more than 16 blastomere or it's more than 8 blastomere stage, you put it in the uterus. That is the concept. So just the fertilization is going to happen in vitro, that means within the laboratory condition. To make it more interesting, they made it test tube baby itself. Okay, so fertilization in vitro and then transplantation in the uterus is your answer for question number 19. And now you just have one question for NEET, and that would be the homework for you again. This would be homework number 2. You can answer me in the format question number 20 answer. Which one of the following statement is correct with reference to a test tube baby? I just explained you, if you use that little tiny neuron up there, you might be able to answer this. Fertilization of the egg is effected outside the body. The fertilized egg is then placed in the womb of the mother where the gestation is completed. That means the pregnancy part is completed. Or what do you call, the formation of the embryo is totally completed. Now, fertilization of, just a second, it's not the exact formation of the embryo, formation of the fetus. Okay, that is what you mean. So over here, fertilization of egg is effected outside, it is happening outside, and then the fertilized egg is then placed in the womb such that from this fertilized egg you get the embryo, from the embryo you get the fetus out there. This whole period of formation is known as gestation period. Okay, now fertilization of egg is effected in the female genital tract, in the female body itself, in the genital tract. It is then taken out and grown in a large test tube. Okay, a prematurely born baby is reared in an incubator. Is that what you mean by test tube baby? Fertilization of the egg and growth of the embryo are effected in a large test tube, either way. So you can tell me the answer. Since I have already explained you I think you would be able to tell the answer, and I am pretty sure even if I was, without my explanation also, you would be able to answer this question because you all are champions, right? And now it's time for KCET questions. There would be 10 questions out there. 3 of them would be from the year 2025, in the recent question paper. Whatever questions we have got, we are gonna put that over here, and you are gonna solve that and see what is your, marks. So over here I will be starting with 1 again. Okay, so 20 questions we did, again 10 more, so 10 plus 20, 30 questions. So out of 30, you have to tell me what is your score. Okay, remember that. Now, out of the following options, identify which one is not a natural method of contraception. Not a natural method. In natural method, do you use any devices from outside? Do you do any that? Do you inject something in your body? No. There are only 3 ways of natural contraception. One is one is withdrawal method or coitus interruptus, where you remove the penis from the body before ejaculation. The second one would be lactational amenorrhea, where a lactating woman would not be able to conceive. Okay, and the third one is periodic abstinence, where during a period you are not going to have the sexual activity because this is a period where woman is actively fertile. Okay, so which one is not a natural method? Lactational amenorrhea, periodic abstinence, coitus interruptus, implants. Your answer would be implants. Implants is something that you implant, you put it in your body, and in your body the thing would be releasing hormones, and these hormones are progesterone or estrogen combination, my dear children, or you can be either it can be just progesterone or it can be progesterone estrogen combination, and that would be not allowing ovulation to happen, implantation to happen, all of that. So just like how pills and contraceptive emergency contraceptives work, just like that implants also work. Okay, so this one is the odd one out. Now going ahead, in zygote intrafallopian tube transfer, the embryo up to stage is transferred into the fallopian tube. So in the zygote intrafallopian transfer, that is ZIFT, my dear children, the embryo up to what stage is transferred into the fallopian tube? I already told you, embryo only up to 8 blastomeres can be getting inside what? The fallopian tube, not beyond that. So ma'am, it said zygote intrafallopian, so how can you put the embryo? You can put that. So the name is like that, such that you can either put the zygote or you can put the embryo which is up to 8 blastomeres. Don't be worried. So it is 8 blastomeres. Okay. If it is more than 8, where do you put it? Inside the uterus. Now, next question. Read the following statement. Statement 1. MTP is to get rid of wanted pregnancy due to casual unprotected intercourse or failure of contraceptives used during coitus or rape. So people generally think, oh my god, this is correct, this is totally correct. Okay, people want to get rid of the child when it is casual unprotected intercourse or failure of contraceptives during the rape and things like that. It's rape and all word is written, so obviously it has to be correct, but it is wrong. Why? Because over here something off is written. So MTP is to get rid of wanted pregnancy. Is it like that? No, it is to get rid of unwanted pregnancy. I know that's the stupidest question, someone could make it up. Okay, but yeah, that is how people want to catch your attention, want to check your attention, my dear children, how whether you are actually reading the question properly or not. Okay, so this is wrong because it is not unwanted. Okay, here it is written wanted. So statement 1 would be incorrect. Now statement 2. MTPs are performed legally by qualified doctors by giving proper medical justification. So again, this is confusing because in your NCERT it is written MTPs are usually performed by illegal doctors, right? So you think that, okay, that statement should have been put up. But over here, the statement which is put up is equally correct. MTPs are performed legally. You're talking about the legal sense. You're not talking illegally, right? So MTPs, whenever it is performed legally, it should be done by qualified doctors by giving proper medical justification. The answer is correct. So statement 2 would be correct, but statement 1 that you see is what? Incorrect. Statement 1 is incorrect and the statement 2 is correct. With that, you get the next answer to be 2. Just a second. And with that, you get 3 marks in KCET 2025 as well. So if at all you were able to answer it, just understand, yes, you can do it this year also. Okay. Now for the other questions, which are there, 7 more questions for KCET are included. Consider the following statements with reference to female reproduction system. Statement 1. The presence or absence of hymen is not a reliable indicator of virginity or sexual experience. The presence or absence of hymen is actually not a reliable indicator. Do you believe so? Yes, it is not. Why? What is hymen? Hymen is actually something that partially covers the vaginal area, my dear children, and it's like a a thin membrane out there. So it can be broken due to multiple reasons. If you go for cycling, if you have like a fight out there, or if you do horse racing, that is written in NCERT. So all this heavy things which you can do, my dear children, it can also tear your hymen. So it's not necessary that it has to be sexual experience or losing of your virginity. That can be only that is the only reason for the tearing of hymen. That would be very, very wrong to say that. So the presence or absence of hymen is actually not a reliable indicator. That is correct statement. It is not a reliable indicator. Now statement number 2, the sex of the fetus is determined by the father and not by the mother. A very, I'm not getting words today, I don't know why. Okay. So anyways, so is it actually the father who determines the sex of the child? The answer is yes. Why? Because the father has X and Y chromosomes, whereas the mother has just XX chromosome. So from here one chromosome has to come down, from here also one chromosome has to come down. Suppose from here X came, here X only can come, right? So it will be a female. Suppose from here Y have come and from here X have come, in that case it would be a male. So is the father's chromosome, it can be X or it can be Y, and if it is a X it will be a female, if it is a Y it will be a male. So that is why it is said that the sex is determined by the father and not the mother. A very controversial statement, but yes, that is what I was trying to say. So both the statements are correct. Can I say both the statement 1 and 2 are correct? Where do I find it? Yes, C option. Okay. Cool. Next, MTPs are considered relatively safe during the first trimester, second trimester, 24 weeks of pregnancy, 180 days of pregnancy. The same question asked in different formats. How many weeks it is considered safe? How trimester? In that sense it is being asked, so you have to be very sure by these terms that you see, my dear children. So MTPs are considered relatively safe during the first trimester. That means the first 3 months. Okay, or 3 months, 3 into 4 weeks is basically 12 weeks. Either way, it is considered to be safe, my dear children. Okay, that's the answer for this. Now, please remember, second trimester also MTP can be done. If the question was MTP can be done up to what period? Up to second trimester or up to 24 weeks of pregnancy, that would also be correct. Okay, it can be done up to that particular period, but it is safe if it is done during the first trimester itself. Now, select the incorrect statement about contraceptives. You have to find what is incorrect. Now, this is a question that I made you to solve. I think I gave it as a homework. Yeah, this is a homework question for you. I solved it in the theory session. Now, you have to tell me the answer for this question. Select the incorrect statement about contraceptives. They are regular requirements for the maintenance of reproductive health. Are they a regular requirement? Now, next thing, they have a significant role in checking the uncontrolled growth of population. They are practiced against a natural reproductive event like conception or pregnancy. The possible ill effects like nausea, abdominal pain, irregular menstrual bleeding, or even breast cancer should not be totally ignored. What would be the answer for this? You have to find the incorrect statement. Okay, regarding contraceptive, you can answer the question like question number 6, KCET. And whatever answer is this, because you have 2 question number 6, no? That's why I said. Fine. Or simply say homework 3. Now, question number 7, which of the following contraceptives could be effective in avoiding pregnancy if used within 72 hours after casual unprotected sexual intercourse? So, you're talking about emergency contraceptives because it has to be used within 72 hours. So, proestrogen, estrogen combination, androgen, FSH combination, testosterone, relaxin combination, relaxin, oxytocin combination. Your answer would be just one, and that is this. Why do you give this combination? Okay, I have told in so many ways that yes, it is contraceptive, but why do you say that it is contraceptive? How does the contraceptive function work? I'll tell you. So usually you need estrogen. Okay, you need estrogen. So you can think like there's a garden. You need a gardener first. Why? To make the the land really good. And then later after that you need a cultivator to cultivate all this thing. So if the gardener is not there, my dear children, will the cultivator be able to cultivate? No. They cannot do it. So the gardener is estrogen. It is the one that initially makes the, what do you call, the endometrium out there. Later, the proestrogen comes and it increases the endometrium lining's thickness out there. That is how it works. So when you give this combination, you always make sure the level of this is more than this. Your level of this is more than this, and when this level is more, its level is more than this, my dear children, what happens is that it dominates, and when it dominates, it says that, hey FSH, hey LH, you're not supposed to be there. And when FSH and LH is not there, ovulation does not happen. Okay, and my dear children, not just that, since it is dominating the level of estrogen, which is very less, my dear children, so there will be what will be happening is that estrogen, whose level is less, would make a very thin basal membrane. So the gardener is not doing exact work. It's exact work because there is only one gardener to think about a whole big lawn. Okay, to look after the whole big lawn. So this gardener won't be doing its work properly. But the progesterone will try to make the endometrium. In this case, my dear children, what will happen? It will be really unstable and it will fall down. Okay, it will be it will be very thin. It will be what? At a very thin endometrium that is going to be formed. Okay, you can think like that. So once more I'll tell you, because I think it was confusing the way I said that. Estrogen, if the amount of it is less, my dear children, it won't be able to make a proper base out there. And if the base itself is not proper, do you think progesterone can make it more better? No, it cannot, because the base itself is weak. That is why we say there's a thin endometrium, and in this thin endometrium, implantation cannot take place. That is how it is an emergency contraceptive. Okay, it won't allow implantation to happen. Cool, neither ovulation to happen. So your answer would be A. Now, 8th question. The method of natural contraception which requires correct knowledge of menstrual cycle is. So in this natural method of contraception, you should know what is the time of menstrual phase, then comes follicular phase, then comes ovulatory phase, and all this thing. What is that method in which you need a requirement for knowledge of menstrual cycle? The answer is periodic abstinence, because in here you make sure that you are not having sexual activity during 10 to 17 days of your menstrual cycle, because you know that this is the most fertile period. This is where ovulation can happen. The female can release the egg. So if you have sexual intercourse, then probably the sperm and the egg would be meeting and the baby would be formed. So you should have an exact idea of the dates out there, then only you can prevent it. So your answer would be periodic abstinence. A is the thing. It's not lactational amenorrhea, it's not IUD, it's not coitus interruptus as well. Okay. Now question number 9. A childless couple visits Assisted Reproductive Technology Center to get an assistance to have a child. On diagnosis, it was noticed that there was low sperm count in the male partner. Which of the following strategy of ART is most suitable in this particular case? Which one is the most suitable in this particular case, my dear children? When there is low sperm count in the male partner, it will be artificial insemination. It will be artificial insemination. The reason being that there is low sperm count, so obviously you have to take it from a donor and you have to put it by yourself. That's the only thing that can be done in this particular case. It's not gamete intrafallopian transfer that is done between females to female when you give the ovum. It's not zygote intrafallopian transfer. It's not in vitro fertilization. It's just in artificial insemination, which is usually being done when there is low sperm count or when there is erectile dysfunction and things like that. Okay, so your answer would be B. And now the last question, which is again a homework question. So this is the last homework question. I told you there are 4 homework questions. You have to give me the answer for that. In India, the action plans for family planning were initiated in the year 1972, 1947, 1951, 1950. We studied this in the first part of the session. So please, if at all you do not remember it, go read your NCERT at least. You will be able to answer it. Okay? And I want to see all the answers. That's how we get to know we are getting better or not. And definitely let me know, is your score increasing, decreasing, or how is it? I just want to know your score out there. Let's see, are we able to face the truth? Are we able to face where we stand? Okay, and how do we know that? By understanding what's our score. Okay, there's a reason why exams are being taken, so that you get to understand where do you stand. So just think of this just like an examination, but with a lot less stricter teacher out there, that is me. Okay, so you can put down your answer out there. I'll be really happy. And my dear children, thank you so much for being throughout the session. Lots of love to you guys. Keep on this consistency. Lots of love. Bye-bye.